Hello ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Good afternoon. Today is 29 December 2019. The time now is 12:10 p.m. Welcome to our BBMA weekly analysis. This will be the last week of 2019 and we will move to 2020. So let's get started. Let us start by review our BBMA entry SOP. We use weekly setup, re-entry sell. Then we look at MHV at daily and also MHV at H4. We also use momentum in H4 and H1 for entry confirmation. We use indicators such as awesome oscillator, stochastic and MACD for divergence. For our exit, we use H4 cut loss if we have momentum opposite our trade direction. For money management and exposure, we only trade one pair per account. We trade 5 pair at the same time, and we only maintain the capital in working accounts. We always cut loss before MC and we trade all pays. We use automation and we use TradingView for creating alert for our setup detection. Our custom indicator can detect setups such as extreme and momentum. Okay, let's go by reviewing the trade that we have for the last week, 23rd of December 2019. The first trade we have was Euro USD. We have closed this one with TP minimal. And then the next trade that we have in our analysis was USD CHF. This one does not go to our re-entry buy, so we have no trade. For AUD USD, we instant entry the trade, but we have cut loss. The next trade we have was AUD CAD. We also instant the entry and we also cut loss this trade. For gold, the gold was rally next week. We were waiting for the retest on the buy zone. However, there is no retest on H4, so we cannot enter the trade. And if you see the gold chart today, it's going up really high. We have two extra signals from the group, which is Euro JPY. We enter the trade. We cut loss on momentum buy on H4 because we are on entry sell. And then the next signal that we have was GBP USD and re-entry buy. We have entered this trade and we have closed TP. Okay, so sorry I forgot to put the growth here. Growth for last week was plus 6.2%. 6.42%, sorry, 42%. So that was the trade that we have last week. Overall, it was a pretty decent week. And then let's move to this week analysis. Okay, so today is, sorry, I have to change this for the week of 30th of December 2018. So first, let's look into the chart. The first chart that we look at is DXY. We don't trade DXY, but we use it as a guide for the direction of the USD currency. If we see here, on monthly chart, we can see formation of MHV. Candle have not closed above the top BB, and on the weekly chart, we can see that it was making a re-entry sell last week, and we expect it to have momentum sell. If we go at the daily, we see it was making a re-entry sell last week. So this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, right? Re-entry sell, and we expect to have momentum. There could be a slight retracement to make another re-entry because as we can see here, the BB is converging, means this downward movement is getting a little bit weaker, so we can expect a little bit of retracement. And if we see on H4, we should see some wait a minute, continuous downtrend movement. So you're going to go down and make a re-entry and then continue to go down. So overall, the bias for USD is still down, weakening, mainly due to political statement. In terms of fundamental, USD also cutting rates. Okay, so let's go to the first pair, Euro USD. For Euro USD, we look at the weekly time frame. You make a re-entry buy, but be caution because we've seen this formation before. This might be a MHV sell. We will be very cautious this week to make sure that we seen the candle is breaking the top of the Bollinger Band. Okay, so on daily it's a re-entry buy, of course, and sorry, weekly and daily we can see it's a strong momentum buy. If we have momentum, we will have a retest, right? So we expect it to retest before it continue to go up. Okay, then on H4 we can see the bearish candle is formed last Friday on the last trading hours, and we expect it to go to retest the MA 5, 10 and 5 low here for our re-entry. So for EURUSD, our action is to wait for the re-entry buy to enter buy position. Okay, so here we're gonna wait for re-entry buy. Okay, next pair, AUD CAD. AUD CAD. For AUD CAD, we look at the monthly chart first. If we see here, the monthly chart is showing a re-entry sell. Price is at the sell zone of the weekly monthly. Okay, this is a big movement from here all the way to down here. And then on weekly is as you can see here, it's a momentum buy. So after momentum, there will be a re-entry, right? So we can use this to sell this, and we look at D1. D1 is making a MHV sell, so price trying to go up, but it never closed above the BB. Okay, so you have a MHV buy, then MHV sell. So this is a undeterminate state. Then we need to look at lower time frame to decide our movement. But if you look here, we actually have a momentum buy on H4. Okay, MHV re-entry buy, then we have momentum buy. For us to sell this, we need to see at least a momentum sell on H4. So what we can do is we can add our alert like so. We can add alert here, AUD CAD, BBMA, and then we wait for momentum sell on 1 per bar close, momentum sell at H4. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna have alert if we have momentum sell on H4, then we can sell AUD CAD. Okay, let's move to the next pair, AUD JPY. JPY currency has been weak for the last few weeks. As you can see that many pairs are strong against JPY, trending up, right? But here also is the same thing. We can see that price is making a breaking MA 510 low high, sorry, after making a, if you can see carefully here, this is a extreme buy, then this will be TP wajib, right? TPW. So after TPW, price will go down and retest to make MHV before it continue to go up. So that's the monthly movement. But let's look at the lower time frame. Okay, in the lower time frame, we have a momentum buy on weekly. Okay, so if we go down to daily also we have momentum, and in H4 we also have momentum. This almost like a extreme. So this is a tough situation for this kind of very strong trend, right? It's very hard to pick a point to have a re-entry. For example here, one thing we probably can do is because if we see here the BB is still expanding, we don't see this one curving up like let me just draw here. Sometimes if you see the BB curve like this, right, mean the upward movement is weak. But for our case, it's still expanding, right? Up to this point it's still expanding down. If we keep going like this, mean the uptrend will be very, very strong. Okay, so in this case, if we want to enter, we can go to lower time frame such as H1, and we can pick our entry here, right, and at the MA 510 low. Okay, and we set our cut loss at the low BB, which in this case gonna give us about 30 pips, which is a very good risk reward, right? I mean, a very small risk. Okay, so that's for AJ, AUD JPY. We try to pick entry for buy in H4 or H1. Okay, so next one, EuroCAD. EuroCAD, we look at weekly. Weekly here is MHV buy. Reason why this is MHV buy, if you see here from 2nd of September, right, candle have not been able to close below the low BB, and at the same time, if you can see, the Bollinger Band is sideways and also converging, mean the downward movement is very weak. Okay, next we go to daily. If we see here daily, the last time that the candle closed below low BB was 27 September, and it make a momentum buy. However, it make a momentum sell here, so we have to be cautious about this. But after that, it does not make any it does not close below this low BB, right? So we can take a buy trade here, follow the big trend. However, we need to confirm in a smaller time frame. On a smaller time frame, this is a very tricky situation. If you can see carefully here, this one is a MA5, so it go outside the BB, and this is a extreme buy, and then it make a CSAK, then momentum, mean this trend is very strong. In this kind of strong trend again, like I said just now, we probably not going to be able to pick up an entry on H4. So what we can do is we can zoom into H1 to find our entry, which is here. Okay, this will be our weekend entry here, like an instant entry for next week. If we instant, our stop loss will be around 52 pip. So with the proper lot size, you can enter this trade and instant it, and make sure you have your cut loss or stop loss below the low BB here. Okay, so that's for EuroCAD. And the last pair that we want to analyze this week is gold. Maybe I use this. Okay, so for gold, let's start with weekly. Weekly is making a MHV buy, nothing changed from last week. As we can see here, MHV, and it's almost the same like here, MHV also. We expect a very big movement upward. Okay, and see carefully, the Bollinger Band is expanding, right? And if EMA 50 is out of BB, mean this is a re-entry setup in a higher time frame, which is re-entry monthly. Like imagine that there's a monthly re-entry, lots of pip, right? So weekly is a MHV, monthly is re-entry, daily we will see momentum, right? So last week we want to buy here, like I told you, but we miss it because it never retraced. The movement is really strong last week, but this week, as you can see, the movement is a little bit weaker, and you have a doji up here, and this is a extreme, right? Extreme sell. Extreme sell doesn't mean it will sell. We're just gonna, maybe just gonna retest. So we look at H4. In H4 we can see a MHV or re-entry here. At using the same method, we can try to enter at how to say, we can enter at the MA10 low, or if you feel that the risk is too high, you can drop it to 1 hour, and as you can see here, this is your entry point. It's quite a good entry point, re-entry buy. See, there's no candle close below the low BB, it's still a re-entry buy. And if you take this trade, your risk will be about 20 something pips, right? So that's it. For gold, we can instant buy next week because this retracement, but be ready to cut loss if the price close below this, because it will be a downward move. Okay, and it's possible to have downward move because you see this Bollinger Band is curving up. If, like I said just now, looking at the Bollinger Band, if we see something like this, mean the downtrend move is still very strong, but this one is curving up instead. Okay, and if we see the top BB also, it's start to curve down, mean the movement is a little bit weak. So be cautious and have your risk management ready. I myself prefer to enter H1 over here. Okay, so that's it for this week. I've written everything here. So we'll recap again. We have 5 pair to trade this week. DXY is a guide. We know DXY is a weak, mean it's opposite of gold, right? If this is weak, gold is strong. Then we have EU, ACAT, AJ, and EuroCat. So that's it for this week. All the best to you, everyone, and have a profitable week ahead. And happy 2020. Bye bye.